Hello, and welcome to something new we're trying here, SteelersDepot.com. This is Alex Kozora, and if you've been following the YouTube channel the last couple days, you've probably seen some of these test streams. I've been trying to hide them because I'm still kind of new to all this and figuring everything out, but trying to do something a little new, a little interactive. So bear with me here. First time really trying this out. This is a live stream going on YouTube. It'll be archived. We'll put it up on Steelers Depot in a little bit later this afternoon. So thank you guys for watching. If you are, I can't even tell who's watching. If there's a chat or any of those things, I'll figure it out again as I go. Now this is live. It's not my space. I like to work in a non-linear editing, kind of being able to make mistakes and go back and fix it kind of thing. But point what I'm trying to do today, and hopefully we'll do throughout. If this works okay, and if I like the way this goes, and people like what we do here, doing some interactive kind of actual talking to the tape, because we can write the articles and try to explain things the best we can. Sometimes it's good to actually kind of walk through it and get to watch it and just to kind of, in a sense, illustrate it. Though I don't have the magic wand to get to do that, so. Right now using our NFL Game Pass, and what I wanted to do was talk about Ryan Shazier and the flexibility that he gives Keith Butler in the Steelers defense. Because we talk about Shazier's a great athlete, he can cover tight ends. Mike Tomlin said he was central to stopping Jordan Reed. Well, I wanted to show some of what makes Shazier so great, the flexibility that he has with Keith Butler and what it allows Keith Butler to do. So this is a broadcast tape you're seeing in the stream right now. We're not going to use that because we don't like to use that. We are going to use the coaches tape, which is the best thing in the world when it works, when NFL Game Pass works, which is not always as certain. But the first play I wanted to go to, if I can find it here, again, talking about Ryan Shazier, it comes in the first quarter. If I can pull up the play, I should have written down the timestamps for all of these, and it's going to come 6:11 in the first quarter. It's actually a play we broke down already for Steelers Depot. Talking about the incompletion in the end zone to Jordan Reed and the one fire zone that Keith Butler ran all night because he was extremely passive. In week one, he rushed five defenders just one time the entire game, and this is the play actually, and we broke that down. But because it's a little complicated, I wanted to kind of get through it again. So Steelers are going to come out and they're going to run their fire zone. The Redskins are in an empty set. They have the running back down to the bottom here. I don't think my cursor is showing up, so I don't think anyone can actually see that, unfortunately. But they're in an empty set, so usually that means passive for Keith Butler. That they're going to have to check at it, but you always have your checks against empty. But Butler wants to be aggressive here. And what they end up running is a fire zone. It's similar to Dick LeBeau's Storm Thunder fire zone. And what had happened last year was, because they ran this against the Ravens week 4, remember the Ross Cockrell interception, the big return in that game. This is very similar to it, but it has Butler's own stamp on it, which I really like, kind of his own schematic stamp. And I saw this in camp, saw it for the first time here. What happened last year in this Storm Thunder fire zone is that you would have the nickel corner, in this case Sean Davis, and the safety, which would be in this case Robert Golden, coming on a blitz. Then you would have your fire zone behind it. What Butler does this year is he blitzes both corners instead. He blitzes the nickel corner, Sean Davis, and the left cornerback, Ross Cockrell, while Robert Golden, the safety, plays coverage. And it ends up being a bit of a trap coverage. So I want to run through this here the first time just so you can see it. We'll run through it live. You're going to see both the nickel corner and the left corner come with Golden in coverage. And I think it's, again, similar to last year, because remember Ross Cockrell's interception was a trap coverage where he jumped the number two receiver, which in this case would be whoever becomes the number 2, which ends up in this case Jameson Crowder, the little slot receiver here, ends up being the number 2. He's going to jump that route to the flat and try to get in front of it, and that's what Cockrell did. He stepped in front of the pass, picked off Joe Flacco. So you see, as number 2 goes out, you'll see Robert Golden to the top here look to jump that flat route. And it kind of extends into a wheel, but he's jumping number 2 out. That's part of the matching pattern reading, and that's part of the fire zone that Keith Butler runs. Now, the onus ends up being on Lawrence Timmons, and this is the same thing from Cockrell last year, is having to kind of start carrying number 1 down the seam. If he goes vertically, then you're also going to get help from Mike Mitchell over the top. He's going to be able to protect anything, a corner route, any sort of just jump ball that's thrown up. Being in the red zone really helps here because you're going to limit the amount of space that you have to track vertically, especially with all the speed that Washington has. So again, just to look at it there, you're going to see Timmons start to work to number 1. He's definitely going to be there for any in-breaking route. That's kind of his main responsibility, with Mitchell helping over the top. Now, Mitchell has to disguise this because he can't start rotating too early, so you're going to see right before the snap, he starts sliding over. That is right out of LeBeau's playbook, where you want to hold that coverage as long as you can to not give the defense time to respond to where that safety's going. Because usually the first read for the quarterback is where the safety's at. It's going to help dictate a lot of the coverage. Just real quick, backside, again, out of empty, you're going to get man coverage from Jarvis Jones and William Gay. So it's combination coverage. Up top, you have that fire zone, that zone coverage where you're matching the routes. To the bottom, you're going to have man coverage. It's kind of another, maybe a bit of a wrinkle for what Keith Butler is doing. Here's the big thing, though. This is a fire zone, 5-man, rush. We're trying to get some pressure. We're blitzing some guys we don't normally blitz. You're going to be stressing the coverage a little bit. You're going to be asking some of these guys to be put in some difficult matchups. Lawrence Timmons is trying to work number one vertically. Mitchell's got to get over the top. You got man-to-man on the backside. But this is the big thing. Here's Ryan Shazier standing at about the 15-yard line. Again, I don't think the cursor is showing up. His goal, he's a three-receiver hook guy. He's got to carry Jordan Reed if he goes down the seam. And that's what ends up happening here. So we'll start to run it. You see Jordan Reed down the seam. Now, Shazier just can't assume he's going to run down the seam. It can be any sort of combination. So he has to kind of sit for a second. And we're going to run that back real quick. Shazier's going to sit. He's got to read the route. And this is where the athleticism he has to be able to make that decision and make up for it, in a hurry comes into play. So you're going to see Shazier is going to be reading number 3. And then as he sees Jordan Reed go down the seam, he's going to run with him. Now, there's no safety help because Mitchell's coming over the top to help carry, number 1 vertically, and Golden is trapping number 2. So the 3-receiver hook guy is all by himself. Now, again, being in the red zone does help, limit the space you have to account for vertically. Still a difficult assignment, though, for anyone to beat Jordan Reed one-on-one in the red zone when you figure Washington is going to be targeting their best, red zone weapon. And Kirk Cousins is going to try to make a play on it because he sees the coverage. It's one-on-one, and Shazier ends up breaking up the pass. You really don't get a great look at it from the end zone angle here. We'll run it through one time anyway, so you can see from this way, too. Again, fire zone, corners are going to come. You're going to get that rush lane balance with Tuitt being the contained guy, Hayward coming down a gap, Moats coming down a gap, just so you have even rush, so there's no escape lane for the quarterback. Tuitt actually loses his footing here. He gets put in the ground by Trent Williams, which is not what you're really looking for. But you get some nice penetration by Cam Hayward, too, up the A gap, or up, I think maybe the B gap, to get in Kirk Cousins' face. But this play by Shazier, which again, a little tough to see, but you get the big breakup on that play, and you probably remember that play pretty well. So the fact that Ryan Shazier has the trust, and because he has the athleticism, which is second to none in the league for the position, to carry Jordan Reed down the seam, gives Keith Butler that flexibility to make this call and put trust in his guys to win if the blitz does not fully get home. So let's run through it one more time. You'll see the blitz come, the trap coverage, Shazier, 3-receiver hook, carrying Jordan Reed down the seam. It's a great play by Shazier, great individual effort, but it's all about the trust in that, because there's not many guys in the league you want, one-on-one with Jordan Reed in that situation. Shazier, though, is one of those guys that you can trust to make a play, and he certainly did. Next play I want to go to is not talked about nearly as much. It's the next drive. It's actually right off the interception. This is a second down play for Washington, 2nd and 9. And this one's not going to get talked about very much because it's just kind of seen as a throwaway by Kirk Cousins. But Steelers, no fire zone here. Just going to be in their cover 3, which is going to be their base, what they're going to play the majority of the time. Not all of it. They'll play some cover 2, some cover 6, some man coverage, 2-man, stuff like that. But cover 3 is going to be their base. And they're going to bring, actually, Lawrence Timmons on a blitz, and they're going to drop Anthony Chico, the left outside linebacker, to 25, closer to the top of the screen. So that is a little bit of a wrinkle here, but it's still going to be the ability to blitz and still play their cover 3 base. Washington is an empty set again. They love empty set. That's a big reason why Keith Butler did not blitz a whole lot, because if you're blitzing out of empty, you have to declare. It's harder to cover. You got guys in space. You're going to have less guys getting to the football. It's a big risk. So empty set, 3x2, 3 to the bottom, 2 to the top. And what Kirk Cousins' first read is he sees that blitz. He sees just kind of the way Pittsburgh is aligned to the bottom initially. 2 guys over 3. You're looking for that inside guy, that number 3 receiver, trying to find something quick to him to get one of their slot guys, Jamison Crowder, in space. Now watch what way the Steelers counter that is with Ryan Shazier, who you see right around the 21-yard line. Again, I should have turned the cursor on. We'll fix that for next time. He's now has to replace Lawrence Timmons' spot because Timmons is blitzing and become that hook guy in the cover 3. And to work to that number 3 receiver. Because that's Cousins' first read. You're going to see here, we'll run it. Cousins' first read is to go to number 3 because he just sees, okay, the Steelers only have 2 guys over 3. Timmons is blitzing. That's vacating the hook curl player in the Steelers cover 3. Let me go to that number 3 receiver. But because Shazier is getting over the top in a hurry, like he does right here. Cousins now has to try to go to a second read, come across the field. By that point, there's pressure. Cousins ends up throwing the football away. So let's look at it again. I'm going to run it through fully this time without me stopping and talking. And again, you see Shazier have that athleticism to get over to replace Timmons' assignment. We'll stop it again right here. Steelers in their cover three. You see William Gay to the bottom of the screen around the 12-yard line. The single high safety up top. Ross Cockrell to the other side. Then you have your four under. Cover three, four under, three deep. It's going to be what the Steelers play most of the time. You have your flat defenders. You have your two kind of hook defenders in the middle. Your linebackers, in this case, Anthony Chickalo, Ryan Shazier. Your two cornerbacks playing their deep third. And your single high safety giving middle of the field support. Let's look at it real quick from the end zone angle. I want to check out that and just watch Kirk Cousins' eyes because he reads this well initially. He knows where he wants to go with the football, but because Shazier's athleticism is what it is, he takes it away. So there's a snap. He sees Timmons blitzing. He wants the ball to number 3. You see Shazier, kind of that blur near the NFL logo down at the bottom here. And he's about ready to throw. He's look at him. He's winding up. He's going to throw the football. And Shazier's athleticism is able to come over to the other hash and get in front of number 3. It's going to force Kirk Cousins to pull the football down, and now he has to go to a second read. Now he's going to take a lot longer. He's got to reset, totally read what's going on to the other side of the field, and try to make a decision. You're going to extend the time in the pocket, force the quarterback to go to another read, and Kirk Cousins is not Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Anytime you force that quarterback to hold on to the football for more time, your pass rush has a better chance of getting home. So Kirk Cousins has to pull the football down. I mean, he's almost throwing it. And now at this point, he gets some pressure again. Cam Hayward, that one-arm stab, running the center back into the pocket. Not a great play by Cousins. He probably could have extended the play, moved the pocket. But at this point, he's just trying to throw the football, and it harmlessly goes out of bounds. Let's run it through one more time, full speed. Watch Shazier, number 50. All the ground he covers, and it forces a throwaway. This turns into a third down, which the Redskins do not convert, and ends in a field goal. And that's a big sudden change play for Pittsburgh at that point. The Russian gets a touchdown there. They're up by they're up 10-0 at that point. Pittsburgh's in a big hole early on, so that was a big stand by the defense, and specifically Ryan Shazier. Again, it's a small play, not going to get talked about a lot, but definitely a critical one. Last one we want to look at. This one's a pretty memorable one. The interception that Ryan Shazier had. And this is going to be again, I believe the Steelers are again in their cover 3 here. Yep, in their cover 3. Again, corners playing their deep third, safety, middle of the field, 4 under, 2 flats, 2 hook guys. And Shazier, no one in his zone. There was no one crossing. The tight end to his side's going vertically. He's getting depth on him. And he's able to make a great play and pick it off. And there's a big return. It gets negated by Mike Mitchell's penalty. But Shazier shows that athleticism. Again, he's going to have that turn. He's going to open his hips, get depth. He's reading the quarterback, reading his arm, reading that front shoulder. Knows when that ball is going to be thrown. He's getting depth, eyes to the quarterback the whole way. The ability to backpedal, get eyes to the quarterback, make a play on the football. Because I think what Washington's running is kind of that over route there with Jordan Reed, the tight end, which is a big killer against the Steelers. We know that pretty well. He's able to take that away. Again, look at all the depth that he's getting, and able to find the football, attack it, high point it. We'll run through to the end zone angle now. You can get another look at Shazier, getting depth, reading the quarterback's eyes, being able to move while keeping his eyes on the quarterback. Here's Shazier at the bottom, reading the quarterback's eyes, sees him release the football, and then he goes up, makes a play, high points the football in front of Jordan Reed. That is a heck of an athletic play to take that away from Jordan Reed. All the depth he's getting. And then we'll show the return here just because it's always kind of fun to watch. And Shazier had a pretty impressive return. Get a hit on the quarterback, Kirk Cousins, which is kind of what defenses live for. And Shazier's tripped up at the 10-yard line. Again, it was negated by Mitchell's penalty, which was unfortunate because it moved the Steelers back to like their 25-yard line. But again, the depth that Shazier gets, that's not the most difficult play in the world, but I think it just shows the ability to get depth and read the quarterback and put everything together. In a moment like that, I think is pretty impressive for Ryan Shazier. We'll look at it one more time. I'll shut up here. I'll let this thing run through. So another great play by Ryan Shazier. Of course, Shazier is officially listed as questionable this week for the Bengals game. We know the injury history there. We know what kind of loss it would be, but I think you lose some flexibility in what you do as a defense. You lose some of the playmaking. And I think you just kind of create havoc on an offense when you have a guy like Shazier that can be seemingly in two places at one time, and I think it really stresses the offense to account for him in the passing game and the run game as well. He's improved a lot in the run game as well, but obviously we didn't have any clips of that this time around. But he's made leaps and bounds from his rookie year. He's able to take on blockers now, stay on his feet, be able to work off a block, stay clean, sift through the trash. Very much more detail oriented against the run than just trying to hit a gap and just hoping he's able to use his speed to get there. But Ryan Shazier, great game for him. Unfortunate about the knee injury. And hopefully he can play against the Bengals. So I just wanted to kind of run through that with Shazier, and just kind of also test out this recording. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully everything works okay. I'm flying blind. I don't have a way. I mean, I can tell I have audio levels, and I tested this a little bit before, but I don't really know exactly how this is working until you do, and you probably know if you're watching right now better than I do. So hopefully everything worked okay. If you like this, let me know. We'll post this up on Steelers Depot as an archive, as a YouTube link here in a little bit once everything gets done processing. And if you guys like this, we'll try to do this at least once, twice a week. I think it's a really cool feature to do. Try to make it interactive. Hopefully, be able to try to talk about it a little bit easier. Maybe it's a little easier to understand. If you have any plays you want to see, anything you're looking for throughout this week or next week or whenever, please let me know. Either on Steelers Depot, on YouTube, on Twitter, however you can reach me. Please don't hesitate to do so. Thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you next time. Again, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
In between two defenders, I think on a little crossing route. That was probably his best throw of the day. But ability to throw into the field vertically for the couple of touchdowns that he had.
We're gonna while spotlight on the points to get into that why
comfort thing.
I mean, maybe the Redskins are trying